Okay, so let's talk about something that I've noticed happening a lot lately in movies, and more specifically, I would say like cinema that's like pertaining to an actual work we have already, whether it's comics, books, whatever you want to have it. So before we get into this, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you turn that notification bell on. This is going to be more of a rant. I don't have bullet points or anything like that usually, but I do have the main thing I want to get like talking about. So after Multiverse of Madness, I think we're starting to see a lot of the discourse surrounding these cameos. And I think that after No Way Home, these cameos have become such a huge problem already. And I've made videos where I've talked about how Marvel and other um, like companies are going to want to look for these pops in theaters now. It's all about these pops, those moments, because those are the viral moments that when people talk about the movie with whoever they're talking about, they want to see how people felt during those moments. And it's sort of turning into the reaction thing we saw on YouTube, like go all over, especially during 2015, I would say to 2017, 2018. And those were like, that's what these companies are looking for now, is for people's reactions on social media to create that buzz. But I think it's sort of going to backfire on them in a way, because now when you don't have enough of those moments, or they don't live up to the expectations of whatever people made up in their mind, it is definitely going to be a situation as we see with Multiverse of Madness. So these are spoilers ahead for Multiverse of Madness. So if you haven't watched it, I really do encourage you to watch it and give this video a like, come back to it at this point. But let's get right into it. So, Multiverse of Madness. So, after Spider Man No Way Home, we knew that people were going to want more cameos, or going to want more of these universe crosses to happen. And was it going to happen? I think if you had any idea, you knew that there wasn't going to be a ton of cameos in this movie, especially knowing how long of a runtime it was already, and we still had different storylines to progress. And I think what happened was that all of these people built up so much expectations, but also from people online telling you this could actually happen, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, and you're already piecing together a movie with like 10 or 15 cameos for a 2 hour movie, where that would actually be more of a 3 to 4 hour movie to have all of those cameos, because even then you wouldn't be satisfied if that all those characters didn't have lines to say. So imagine that, having 10 to 15 characters that are going to be just sole cameos, each having a line. Doesn't make any sense. And so I think that that's exactly what we're seeing now, is that people are building up this expectation that every Marvel movie now, because of Multiverse of Madness, should have cameos as well, where I don't think that it matters if Thor has any cameo of sorts and it's just at the end of the day a Thor movie. And I don't think it matters if Black Panther has any cameos either as well. I think that what matters here with Phase 4, and what I enjoyed about this Multiverse of Madness movie and most of Phase 4, is that they were stories that were just like more like grounded. I don't need these stories to build up to something every single movie, whereas we can just see this story progress in the background, and that's not the sole focus of it all, as we see with all of the other phases in Marvel we've had. So what I do want to talk about as well is, I think that this sort of like precedent that No Way Home built up was insane. I don't see that as a movie. That's why I don't rate it as high as all of the other MCU movies, because I saw that more as a fan event than the movie in itself. The movie in itself I found very weak at the end of the day. I don't really feel for Tom Holland Spider-Man at all. I just wanted to see this movie to see all of the cameos and to see the old Spider-Man come back, as well as their respective villains, and get those moments of closure and those pops and everything, because this is a movie that I saw it in theaters twice, and both times were great. I enjoyed it, but I don't want to see this at home. You can tell when you rewatch this movie that a lot of those moments were meant to be watched with a large audience, because there's like moments, there is like time left in between the moments for like that audience reaction, that audience laugh, clap, whatever, like you hear in sitcoms. And so when you see that in theaters, it makes sense, because you're going to get those pops. And let me tell you, in Multiverse of Madness, the first showing I watched, there was that pop, a mini one, however, for that Reed Richards whatever you want to call it, cameo or appearance. By the way, I don't think John Krasinski should be Reed Richards. I just said Reed Richards. Reed Richards. But that's another whole topic. I'm going to fan cast the Fantastic Four once I figure out who I would put as the Thing. But no, I don't think that that was a great choice, but whatever. So yeah, like I was saying in my first showing, the pop, it was a little pop. It wasn't a huge thing. I feel like maybe one row of the people watching the theaters were excited about it and clapped and did a little hooray. It wasn't that ecstatic, euphoric scream you heard during No Way Home when Toby and Andrew showed up. So there's that. The second showing I watched it, not a single person said anything when Reed Richards popped up. There wasn't a single pop for any of the characters at all in the Illuminati, I think, because I feel like that gets more into the nitty gritty of comics where your average moviegoer isn't really going to be following up. And I think this fan casting is something you think is big and everything if you're on the internet. But if you go to any other person that's just going to the theater to enjoy a movie, I don't think they really care about it. And I think that was a thing here. So like I said, I think that the internet in itself is setting itself up to be disappointed every time now that in Marvel movie comes out or whatever else builds up hype like Marvel does when it doesn't meet its like requirements or what it wants. But the average moviegoer really loves this film. If you look at it as a film in itself, it is entertaining. The visuals are great. The story is great for what it is. I don't see how people are nitpicking this story when you could nitpick every other MCU film in itself. And, you know, that's just me. But I think that at the end of the day, Marvel's worst enemy will always be its fan base. I think the MCU really should take notes of what it did with Multiverse and stop trying to please so much and just do the story it's trying to do. Although they did try to please with Reed Richards and some of the other Illuminati, but then they took it back with that scene with Wanda and them. So I think in the future, the MCU should like close its eyes, shut its ears, and just do what it needs to do. I think for the future, the MCU, what it really needs to do is not even look at what the internet's saying about like Marvel or anything like that. Have somebody go in there, see some little things that would be cool to throw in so that it commits some sort of fan service, but the story in itself, do what you need to do. Don't listen to the fans, because what we saw with Multiverse of Madness, when they gave creative control to Mr. Sam Raimi, we got the most freshest Marvel movie we've gotten in some time. So, you know, I think that's the thing. Marvel, listen to yourself. Stop listening to the fans. That's my whole thing about that. Let me know what you think down below. And as always, it's going to do it for me. Make sure you're subscribed, turn that notification bell on, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. We are on the road to 21,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe. Less than 200 to go. Super pumped for that. Well, less than 300 actually. Well, maybe we'll be closer by the time you're watching this video. Or maybe we already surpassed it. At 25,000, we are doing a giveaway, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you follow me on all the other social media cultural links, or on Twitter, TikTok, all that. I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.